Hello guys, Charles here bringing another video. Today we got some Mortal Kombat 1 news, so let's get started. We got Omni-Man and Tremor gameplay overview, so let's get on right into it.
That's exactly right. This is not a martial artist. You know, he's not, there's not a lot of finesse here.
Right.
One of the first moves I'd like to show is his forward 4, which is like his pretty good advancing mid. He slams you down. A lot of his moves are high. So this is kind of one you want to use when you want to go mid.
Okay.
Is that a string right there?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, the end is just a 1+3 input.
You know I love them.
Right. Another really good mid up close is his back 1. And it has two options. Back 1-1 pops them up. And back 1-2 is mid-mid and is safer.
I really hope he's got some cool air combos, but we'll have to wait, I guess.
Well, I'm sure we'll see that. He also has some really interesting mix-ups to open up the opponent. Like, for example, his sweep is pretty unique because he drops down and does extra damage.
Okay.
Because he's that fast.
Because he's super fast.
What a show off.
He also has forward 3 where he literally just stomps the ground and creates an earthquake.
So strong.
And then I think this is one of his coolest moves. He has an awesome long-range overhead.
Okay.
Where he zips across the screen super fast, and if he's up close, he'll zip behind you and knock you down.
And that's just a button.
Yeah, it's just forward 2.
What?
And you can see it has really good range.
That's all I'm gonna need. That's it.
Yeah, you can mix it up with the sweep.
Man, he just loves putting people's faces in the ground.
Yeah, he's a strong guy. So let's go over his special moves.
Yeah.
One unique thing about Omni-Man is he actually has a lot of aerial mobility. All of his special moves can be done in the air. He has ground and air versions of all of them, which is pretty unique to MK.
Okay.
First one I'd like to show is the Mega Clap. Puts his hands together. It's not patty cake, it's the Mega Clap. Sends them very far. It's a great combo ender with Punisher, mid-range footsie tool.
Could you almost use it like zoning too?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Keep them in, keep them out.
Doesn't go full screen.
Not full screen, but the EX version goes even further and will destroy projectiles.
Oh, okay. Man, he's just tearing up the ground. Everything he does.
He also has this big charge move where he literally just like charges in with his chest. And we've all learned in the 90s in N64 wrestling games that if you put your chest out, you're blocking moves. So he can just barge in. And the EX version has armor, so this is kind of as advancing. You think they're going to do like a projectile, you want to get in. Kind of similar to like a Johnny Cage Shadow Kick.
Okay.
Another special move he has, that, and you'll see this, being able to close the gap is a reoccurring theme with Omni-Man.
Gotcha.
Because he wants to get in there and punch.
Exactly. Torpedo move.
Ooh, okay.
Superhero classic. He can do this in the air and it actually goes downwards. It'll pop the opponent up. Another move great for just full screen. At any moment you can see it's very quick.
So this is interesting though, because if you do it on the ground, you're not following up.
Correct. But if you do it in the air, he gets to pop up.
Very cool. I also really like how the blood from his opponent gets onto his costume. It's pretty awesome. Like I know that we get blood on everybody, but for some reason on him it just looks real cool.
It's just kind of iconic with him, you know.
Yes. So then let's go over his most interesting special move that I think really sets him apart. The Viltrumite stance. So it's down back 3, and he starts hovering in the air. And from here, he has 4 different moves, plus a bunch of mobility options. Let's start with the mobility.
Okay.
You can cancel it, but you can also warp forward.
Oh
my goodness.
Extremely quickly.
What? That's
Again,
crazy.
you can do this in the air like all of his special moves.
This is pretty awesome.
And we'll go over his moves. The first, I think, is one of the key moves, which is this grab.
Okay.
And this is like his main combo starter. You can quickly go into it. You can even go into it off of the low I talked about earlier.
Okay.
Just dragging people in the dirt.
He also has this move where he zooms across super fast behind you. That's a great combo ender. It's a great check. You think the opponent might try to like throw something out when he's in the stance. You can quickly go into it. He also has an overhead from anywhere on the screen. He drops down.
So it tracks.
Exactly.
Woo!
And then lastly, a big anti-air uppercut. And he zooms across and then covers all the upward space. So it's kind of like the upwards version of the zip behind you.
I just love that spine break.
Cool.
It's so cool. I like the facial animation.
That man
So then
fast.
the question is,
Too
how am
fast
I
for
supposed to
everybody.
go into this stance when you're doing projectiles, you're doing long-range normals and all that, and he's just vulnerable floating there, right?
Well, I don't think
Wrong.
he really is.
No,
I don't
no,
think
no,
so.
no.
So in Viltrumite's stance, when he does it, he's immune to all fireballs. They will literally just pass through him as long as he's in it. And that includes in the air.
That's some of the coolest stuff I've ever
It
seen.
is.
It's definitely
It's
awesome.
pretty awesome.
He just got to dodge it.
The EX version starts up faster and also makes him immune to normal attacks as well. And then he can go in.
Wow.
That's so
That's
as
sick.
a recovery.
All right.
Finding
So-
time to
I gotta get my foot in my
Yes,
my hand.
and again, you can do that in the air. The EX version is very, very quick.
It's gonna be embarrassing too.
It is very, very, very
That's
cool.
awesome. I love it.
And then lastly, for his mobility, he has a unique air dash. This actually has a physical hit attached to it. It doesn't just pass through the opponent. So you can see he spins the opponent around for a free hit. And you can do two as long as you have meters, so you can do stuff like to do some really cool flash
That's
combos. So you
crazy.
can use that to get in, you can use it to get out, and it'll always have that physical
That's
hit.
real nasty.
So again, to recap that, if you just do it for the first time, it doesn't take any meter. But if you want to do it twice, like in a combo like I showed,
Right.
it's going to take a bar. Similar to how Notaro works.
Very cool.
So I think in general, Omni-Man's a pretty simple powerhouse character to play, but he's got great mobility options, great offensive ability, and I think the Viltrumite stance is going to be super, super interesting.
And people sometimes, like, of my level probably, when you hear stance, you get a little scared. But his stance
Boom!
is
Just crazy.
it's
That's
not your
crazy.
typical, like, it's not that hard to use, really.
Right, it is not really hard to use, and he was not meant to be. He is
Right.
meant to be like, just like you see on Invincible, he is just he's just tearing through people effortlessly. That's exactly what a design
Good. It's great.
team went with, and I think they really
Yeah,
nailed
it shows, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Super cool. I love it.
yeah, I think he's going to be really, really cool. So would you guys like to see Tremor?
I think we would.
You know what? Let's just save it for another day, Rich.
Just save
No.
it.
Just save it for another day.
I'm going to vote yes.
All right. I'm
I
swayed.
guess-
Okay. All right.
So Tremor's one of the most interesting cameos in the game, and I can't wait to see our players use him because he has more moves than any of the original roster cameos.
Okay.
Let's see how it works.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we all know Tremor debuted in Mortal Kombat Special Forces, but he really made his big playable debut in MKX.
Correct.
Where he
Correct.
had 3 variations.
Yes.
And that's something our design team wanted to bring back. You can actually go Aftershock, Metallic, and Crystalline, and he has a different set of moves in each stance. So I'll show how it works. He starts with Aftershock. You can even see in his life bar, and he's like the brown, rocky, kind of traditional looking clobbering time Tremor.
Right.
So he has 3 moves when he's in Aftershock. He has his Rock Punch. It's exactly what you'd expect. He just kind
Lunge
of
and
comes
punch.
in,
Yep.
Okay.
safe on block, it knocks you away. You can use it to end your strings. He also has Up Punch, which is a pop-up starter.
Which I'm pretty sure he also had in
In MKX.
Yes.
And then lastly, he has his Ground Pound, where he comes in, he does a low, and then pieces out. So if you have a really good overhead, for example, maybe you have a mid-screen overhead that's almost instant. You can also have a mid-screen low that's almost instant,
So good.
which is pretty awesome.
And that's just a knockdown. Hard-
Exactly,
yeah.
right.
And so you would say Aftershock, he's sort of the attacker.
Yeah,
The
I would say
offensive one?
It's offensive. It's pretty basic. It's the most kind of standard Tremor.
Right.
Kind of the one you like base, which is why it's the default one.
Right.
Okay.
So then, at any time, you hit R1, and he'll come out, and he'll cycle to the next one, which is Metallic.
Wow.
Now he has an entirely new set of moves.
Wow.
Lava-based. He has.
I think he has
Lava
more
Burst, which is like your
than
big
anybody
range,
in the game.
Safe, kind of. There's no reason not to use it.
Right.
He has an anti-air Lava Burst. And then this is really, really cool. He has his bowling ball, which is a low.
Wow,
and if you
yeah.
hold it, it becomes an overhead.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's got kind of mid-range attacks. plus
Wow,
a
he
50/50
can just
full
switch to
screen
different
that you can
variations.
mix up.
Crazy. Okay, I like that.
Awesome.
Again,
Something different
straight
from
up
all the
MTX.
other.
It's so cool.
Right, and so then that gives you also zoning abilities or a projectile if you have a character that is lacking that,
Exactly.
which is awesome.
Or if you have really good
No, the
projectiles, you want
cameos,
to double
there we
down.
go. Double down.
Mix-ups, you can go that way.
Right.
And maybe you have like really
Which
great
is great
anti-air.
He literally has more
Well,
moves
that's
than
gonna make
even
them
Frost
jump.
now.
You know, you could put out
So,
May's
he has 6
lantern, and
moves
then you
now.
can do this. It's just all kind. I think the creative freedom in the cameo system is the coolest part of the game, right?
Can't agree more.
And then lastly, one more stance.
Okay.
Crystalline.
People have been looking forward to this.
Ed kind of teased it, and I think a lot of people guessed some of the stuff he could do.
Yeah, totally.
So in Crystalline, he has 2 attacks. He has Crystalline Burst, which will reflect projectiles, and then the big one. And a lot of people were like, "There's no way they're going to do that." We did. Crystalline armor. So once he has
Crystal
Crystalline armor,
Omni-Man.
it's doomsday for the opponent.
Crystal Omni-Man is real crazy.
Oh my god. Alright, here we go. So he's gonna summon the armor.
Wow.
Sword attacks like an
That's
absolute badass.
crazy.
Beast.
Right.
I like that.
And
I like that a lot.
so the way
I
this
like
works,
that
the cycling
extremely
is
a lot.
once you do the summon, like I said, it'll go through. And it goes in a particular order. And if you hold down in R1, it goes the opposite order. So you could go from
Ooh.
Crystalline to Aftershock instead of and skip Metallic in between, if that makes sense. It's like the cycling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a skill cap
Yes.
on like people who can go back and forth and know what
Exactly.
you're doing. So like yes, they have a lot of moves, but yes, you have to be cycling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to
Okay.
manage
Always
that.
You're gonna,
I
you're
got
gonna
you.
have to
I got
manage
you.
the order that you're in because you cannot go straight from Aftershock you can't go from Metallic to Aftershock unless you go down, like you cycle
Right,
back,
right.
if that makes sense. I
Okay.
just confused myself. But it'll make sense because there's only 3.
Right.
So
Right.
it's whether you want to go
Right.
which order. And then there's a really, really, really cool twist, I think, really sets him apart. When you call him out, it's an ambush move, and you can transition into any of these attacks.
Ooh.
So let me show you. Right now
Okay.
I'm in Crystalline. If I go to Aftershock and then immediately enter a back in R1, he will immediately, while still on screen, go into the ground pound. Like so.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
interesting.
Or next in the cycle
Okay.
is Metallic. So let's say I wanted to do the bowling ball. I can do it that way. Or Crystalline. I can do instant Crystalline armor.
Interesting. Very cool.
So that means all of his moves can also be ambush moves if you commit to bringing him out, swapping, and then immediately doing the move. Now that's going to be somewhat risky. They can get you out of it. You're going to have to be where you are in the cycle and all that. So there's a lot of risk and a lot of thought that's going to go into it, but it's extremely powerful if you master the cycle.
Okay.
And I think it's one of the cooler mechanics in the game for cameos.
Excellent.
Very cool.
So that's that, huh?
I think we have one more thing to show.
Oh.
Okay.
His Fatal Blow. And the Fatal Blow attack that he goes into is pretty neat because, again, it uses his speed. You can see here.
Here we go. Okay. Beep. 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 Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. So guys, that was the Omni-Man gameplay trailer, also showing off, of course, some gameplay from Cameo Tremor. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and of course, see you guys in the next video. Peace out.